Hello and welcome to our 17th session wherein you are going to build a customized personal art gallery. You have already worked in Blender and you have created many models. So select some 4 or 5 models and you are going to place those models in the art gallery, and apart from that you are also going to take all the artworks that you have done in Illustrator, Photoshop, poster, banner and just stick it onto the walls of this art gallery. And now when the user comes into this environment, he is going to use WASD keys and move all around the art gallery to have a look at all your work. So this is what we are going to create in this session. To start with, if you are continuing from project 15 and 16, you can directly open the project and continue with the project. But you have not completed the previous project and want to start with this art gallery project, then we have provided you the resource project. And to access this resource project, if you come into your YouTube video, if you scroll down and in the description, if I click on more, here you have a Patreon link. It is provided even in your e-learning description, and if you click on this Patreon link and come into the Unity 6 Learning Patreon link page of Satvik, if you scroll down at the bottom you have the file Unity Profile Art Museum Start.zip. You can just click on this to download this file. This file is around 1.7 GB. Along with this, I also want you to download this artwork.zip and also this models.zip. If you are working from your previous project, then use only these two files, and if you doesn't have the previous project files, you can download this 1.7 GB file. Coming into the download folder, I have this models and artworks zip. Select both of them, cut or copy it in one of your folder. Say for example, I have Unity profile folder here. You can paste this, and I want you to unzip them. Unzip this models.zip folder and also this artworks.zip folder. So both the folder unzip it. If you doesn't have your source file, you can come to Unity project and here paste the Unity Profile Art Museum Start.zip file, right click and choose extract all, and once it is extracted, you can then launch Unity Hub, come into projects, come into add project from disk and browse to the folder where you had unzipped your project and click open. Right now I will click cancel here because I already have my old project here. So I will click on this to launch the project. Once the project is open, if you come into the project panel in assets, Unity profile contents, scenes, you have one scene here called as 6 bonus custom scene. Double click to open this, and once it is open, go to file, choose save as. In your Unity profile assets, come into Unity profile contents, scenes, and I am going to call this as 3_art gallery, and I am going to click on the save button. If you come into the hierarchy, this scene has just an environment and a direction light. I want an art gallery to be built here. Do not worry, this art gallery prefab along with the WASD navigatable camera is provided to you along with this Unity profile contents. To access it, come into the project panel, asset, Unity profile contents, and in prefab you have rooms. Double click to open it, and here you have one prefab called as 4_gallery. Now select this 4_gallery and drag it into your hierarchy. I will now come into the inspector and in transform, I will reset it to 0, 0, 0 position. If I come into file and save this 4art gallery has a camera built into it. So if you come into the game view and if I now click the play button, I can now move the mouse to move up and down, and if I press D, I rotate to the right, A, I rotate to the left, S, I move back, and W, I move forward. So this navigation is already built into this camera. If you see this auditorium or the gallery, it is totally empty. I want you to add all your models and your artwork here. I will stop the playback. If you are now curious to know about how this navigation is happening in game view, then you can come into the scene view, and in the hierarchy, if you open this prefab 4_gallery, inside this you have main camera. And if you select this main camera, come into the inspector, it is attached with a script called as Universal Camera Controllers and another one Universal Additional Camera Data Script. This script is added by the Universal Render Pipeline. This simple camera controller script is what is creating this WASD navigation. And to explore this script, you can come into your project panel, asset, in Unity profile contents, you have source files, and in script, you have this simple camera controller script. You can double click to open this in Visual Studio Code and have a look at it. This is around 33 line script. And if you want to understand what each line does, if you come into the Patreon page, you have one file 14H simple camera controller. So if you click on this and if you download this file, open this PDF file, step by step you will know exactly what each line of code does. Coming back to Unity, come here in the project panel, choose this asset, right click and choose the option show in Explorer. And when I click on this, this will open in Explorer, this assets folder. Now I will double click to open this. I am now going to come into the folder where I downloaded my models. Right click and copy the model, and I am going to come into the assets and I am going to paste it. But before I paste, I will come to Unity and I will close Unity. I will quit Unity. In this folder, Unity profile asset, I am going to right click and paste this unzipped models folder. If you open it, there are 5 Blender models and 1 FBX model. Instead of this provided models, you can put your own models in this folder and that can be used in your art gallery. Now, these models are usually having quad topology, and to use it in any game engine, it should be converted into triad, and all this conversion is going to be carried out by Unity. Coming back to Unity Hub, I will click on this Unity profile to relaunch Unity, and when this project now open, it may take a longer time because you can see here importing iterations. All these models has to be now converted to Unity format. So it may take some time for this conversion to happen. Now, once the project opens, now you have this models folder, and if you double click to open it, you can see these 6 models added over here. Come to the hierarchy panel. I will open this 4 gallery. You have gallery building. And if I open this, come into the scene view with middle mouse click, if I pan down, I want my Assassin's Creed character to be placed on this particular platform. So I select this platform. It is named as mesh platform. I will press F to zoom in. I will alt click and move above. With this position set, I will drag this Assassin's Creed from here and place it over the top at this point. Now you can see the Assassin's Creed is added. If I double click this Assassin's Creed, it's too big. So I will come into the scale, click on proportional scale, and I will reduce it to around 0.05. I will double click this to zoom in. If I just move down and if I see this, see, if you can see it is resting here, but it is still very big. I am going to reduce it to around 0.025 and press enter. Right click, press W, move forward and have a look at it, and I will press E to move up and see that it is correctly placed. I will slightly move it along the Y axis to rest it on this platform. Now I will zoom out. I will press E to select the rotation tool, and I will slightly rotate it and place it in this angle. Okay, so now I have my model placed at one corner. Deselect. The model is not appearing with textures. How to import these textures from Blender to Unity and how to apply these materials, we will have a separate class on this in the future session. After placing my first model, right click, turn around, and I am going to select this platform. It is called as mesh_large_plint1. Selecting it, I will press F. I will alt click left mouse. Here I am going to place my boy model. I will just drag the boy. I will drag and place it here. I will take move tool and I will move it to the top. I will just zoom out, right click and tilt up, press Q to move down, and I am going to move up and place it on the platform. I am going to select rotate tool and I am going to rotate it to the front. I will press F, press Alt left mouse and see around to see that I have precisely placed it. Then I have another Fox model. I will just right click, turn around, and I will just click on this platform. It is named as mesh_large plint 1. I will press W to move to the move tool, press F to zoom, press Alt and with left mouse click I will tilt up. I am going to drag this Fox model and put it here. You see again this is very big, right mouse and tilt, this is very big. So I will come into scale, enable proportional scaling and I will scale it down to 0.3 and then I will move this to the top like this and place it on the surface. I will move it along the Z axis also. Then I will press E for the rotation tool and along the Y axis I will rotate it and also take the move tool and I will slightly move it back. I will Alt left mouse click and move up and see that this is precisely placed. Then with middle mouse I will pan and see that this is precisely placed. Then I will right click and turn around. I want my another model, so I will select this part, mesh large plinth, press F to zoom it here. Now with Alt press with left mouse, I will just tilt up and I am going to place my model on this surface. So coming into this assets model folder, now I will select the fourth model girl, drag it and just place it at the center here. Along the Y axis, I will move it to the top so that it just rests on this platform. I will zoom out. I will right click and pan up, press Q to come down. So this height appears to be fine. I will select the rotate tool and I will just rotate and place this girl object facing towards me. For the next model, I will right click and turn around and I am going to next select this particular platform. So I will just zoom in and click on this platform. This platform is mesh_large plinth. I will press W to select move tool and press F to zoom in. Alt left mouse click to turn around. I will just tilt up like this and I am going to select this Morona Saulnier. I am going to just drag this and put it at this point over here. Now I will also slightly move it to the top. I have one plane also imported along with this aeroplane. If I just come into the hierarchy, open this Morona Saulnier and here you have floor, you can select it and switch this off in the inspector. Then I will select this Morona Saulnier again and I am going to just drag it and place it correctly. I will press F, press Alt left mouse to turn around and see this. So this is touching the wall. So along the X axis, I will move it slightly to the back and I will Alt click and I will slightly scale it down. So I will come into the inspector, I will enable constraint proportion and scale it down to 0.6. I will slightly move it to the top. So I will press F. And if I Alt left click and turn around, I will just move it along the X axis so that these two tires are resting on the platform. I will scroll it down to 0.5 and it is resting correctly on the floor. And I will Alt left click, turn around, and now aircraft model is now precisely placed. For our sixth model, in the scene, I will right click and turn around. Almost all platforms are full. So I am going to use this bench. So I will select this bench. If you come into the hierarchy, this is called as mesh_bench 1. I will press F. I will press Alt left mouse to turn around. I will come into the project panel, asset model, select ornaments. I am going to drag it and put it here. And as of now, this is again too huge. So I will drop it in the scene and then I will come into scale, enable constraint proportion on it and I will scale it down to 0.1. If I press F, see you can see it is scaled at a very top level here. So along the Y axis I will move it down. With middle mouse click I will pan down like this and I will still move it down like this. and press F if required. I will just zoom out. You can see still this is big. I will also rotate it along the Y axis by 90 degree and then lift it to the top with Alt left mouse. I am going to turn around. I will slightly zoom out and I will scale it down to around 0.06. I will just move this to the left, move it to the bottom and see that it rests on this platform. With Alt left mouse, I will turn around and place this ornament on this bench here. With this, we have successfully added all our models. Deselect everything. If you want to make your models colorful, you can add materials to it. I select this Assassin's Creed, double click to zoom into it. I will Alt left click to turn around, and to this, if I want to add materials, I can open Assassin's Creed and you have one light preset. Come to inspector and switch it off. I will select this torso, which is nothing but the eyes, and then I can come into asset, unity profile contents, and in materials I will come into interiors. I will select object, and if on the right hand side I will make it bigger to see the material color, and so I will come into interior collectible. I will select this black material and attach it to this torso. Then I will select torso 1. I will come back into materials and I am going to open interiors, and here in object I am going to select a skin color. Say for example, I select this block brown matte and attach it to this torso. I will add a brown color. So then I will select torso 002 and come back to material, and in outdoor select this grid orange matte and I will attach it to torso 002 to the pant. Then I select torso 003, and for this I will attach this ball starter scene matte. I will attach it to torso 003. For torso 004 I will attach a blue color. Then torso 005 also I will attach a blue color. Torso 006 I attach a green color. Torso 007 I attach a cyan color here. Torso 008 I attach this grid color, and torso 009 I attach the skin color. Torso 0010 also I will attach the skin color. 11 I will attach the skin color. Then 12 I will attach the skin color, and 13 I will come into material, interior, collectible, and I am going to select this red and attach it to torso 13. So you got a colorful Assassin's Creed character. So Assassin's Creed I have added it. I will select boy, press F to zoom in there, Alt left click to turn around. I will come into materials, outdoor, select this boy, open, and I will select the body, and for the body I will attach this grid material here. I will attach a blue color like this, so I can drag and drop it like this, and for the knicker I attach a red color. Similarly, now I open the fox, press F, Alt left click to turn around. I open the fox and you have environment ambient light, which I will switch it off. I select the first part here and I am going to attach it with this grid color here. For eyes I will attach black color, and for the hair I will again attach black color. And for the Roxy 001 I will come into material, interior, objects, and here I will select this block red and attach it to this. And similarly I select the girl, press F, Alt left click, open this girl, and here I will just drag this and put it on the face, come into material, outdoor, and I select the red ball color and put it to shirt. I select the blue pant, I will make the pant blue, and I will add orange color to this hands. I will add a blue color to the scarf here. This looks more colorful. I will select the aeroplane, which is Morane Solnia. I select it, press F, Alt left click, turn around, and if I open this also, you have this cube, come into material and interior objects. I will select vacuum indicator and allot it. Then you have another CS here, so I will just drag this and attach it here, so you can see the aircraft is more colorful. I will come to the ornaments. I will double click to zoom it there. You have the ornaments. I will drag this shiny red material, and for the pearls I am going to add this orange material, and for ring come into material, interior, collectibles, material, apple gold, and attach it to this ring. So it will take some time, and now you can see the ring is appearing in gold color. So like this I have now added material to all my objects so that it now appears more colorful. We are going to add some artworks here. So if I right click and turn around, you have the wall here, and here I want to add the artwork. First I have to get this artwork images into Unity. So I will come into the assets folder, and here I will right click and I will create a new folder, and I am going to call this as artworks, and then I will double click to open this. Then I will right click and choose import new asset. You had downloaded artworks.zip, and if you have unzipped it, you can open this, press Ctrl A and select all the images and click on the import. So now all these images will be imported into your Unity project. I am going to come into the hierarchy, and first I will go to file and save this, and right click. I will come into 3D object, and I am going to add a quad. I am going to call this frame 1. I will come into the inspector here, reset first to 0, 0, 0. I will double click it, middle mouse click and move down. I will move this down, and if I alt left click and turn around, you can see this is the actual quad you are seeing. I will come into rotation here, and along the Y I will rotate it by minus 90 degree, and along the X axis I will move it to this wall here so that it is just above the wall. Then I will alt left click and turn around. So I will zoom in, I will right click, press D and move around, press W and move forward, and I will just move to this wall, and I will move this little to the top, and along the Z axis move it to the side, and I will slightly move it to the top. Here you have the first one is illustrator work. So I will just drag this image onto this quad. Below the image I want to add a text. I will come into Unity hierarchy. You have frame 1 here. Select frame 1, right click, and I will come into 3D object, and I will add this TextMeshPro object, and you can see a huge text appears here. I am going to come into the inspector, and in the text input call this as illustrations, and I will just scroll down, and in the vertex color I will just click here, and I am going to select a dark blue color. I will close this, and I will come into the scale, click on this enable constraint proportion scale, and I will scale it down to something like 0.05. I will just move this below photograph. I will just zoom it, move it along the X axis so that it is just in front of the wall like this. Alt left mouse click, middle mouse, and I will drag it. I will select this text object, press F2, and I am going to call this as frame 1 underscore text. I select this entire frame 1. I am going to press Ctrl D to duplicate it, and I am going to move it and place another image over here. Press F2, and I am going to call this as frame 2, and for this frame 2 I will select the second object, drag this shampoo and attach it here, and below I will open this, open frame 2 and select frame 1 underscore text, come to inspector text input. I am going to call this as product design. I will just pull this to make this in one line, and then along the Z axis I will move it and center it. I will close this frame 2. I will press Ctrl D. I will press F2, and I will call this as frame 3. I will just move it to the next level here. I will at equidistance. I am going to select this igniter's poster. So I will drag this igniter poster over here. Open frame 3, select frame 1 text, come to inspector text input, call this as Ignitus poster. Then I will close this frame 3. Then I will press Ctrl D to duplicate, press F2, and I am going to call this as frame 4, and I will move this frame 4 to the side like this. I am going to select this mockup Science Fest and I am going to drag it and put it here. Open frame 04, select frame 1 text, and in the text input I will call this as Science Fest. I will select this frame 4, press Ctrl D, then press F2, and I am going to call this as frame 5. Select this frame 5, drag it to the left. I select here clean water packaging. I will drag it and put it over here. Open frame 05, select frame 1 text, come into inspector text input, call this as packaging design. So I will adjust this correctly and place it here. I will select frame 1. With shift pressed, I select all the 5 frames. Press Ctrl D to duplicate this. Coming to this gizmo, I will right click and come into the top view here. And with all the 5 selected, I will drag it on the other side. I will take the rotation tool and I will rotate it by 180 degree. Hold Ctrl, I will rotate it by 180 degree. Then I will select the move tool and move it on the other side. If I come back to the free view and if I just tilt up and if I zoom in, you can now see all the 5 are here. I will just move it to the wall here. See, just above the wall. So it is placed just above the wall. See that it is precisely placed. I will now select this frame 1, press F2, and I am going to call this as frame 6. Select this and press F to zoom. Alt left click to turn around. I am now going to select this 10 UX UI design image. I will drag it here and I will open this frame 6, and in frame 1 text I am going to call this as UX UI design. I will slightly drag it to put it in one line and I will slightly move it to the left. Now similarly I will select this frame 2.1, press F2, and I am going to call this as frame 7. I am going to select this web design and put it here. I am going to open frame 7, select frame 1 text, and I am going to call this as website design, and if required I will slightly move it to the left, and with middle mouse click I will pan it. With alt click I will just turn around to see it correctly. I will close this frame 7, then I will select this frame 3.1, press F2, and I am going to call this as frame 8. For frame 8 I am going to drag this next level and I will open frame 8, and in frame 1 text, selecting it in inspector text input, I am going to type here film poster design. I will slightly drag it to make it in one line, and then along the Z axis I will move it like this. Then with middle mouse click I will pan to move to the next one. I will select frame 4.1, press F2, and I am going to call this as frame 9. I am going to drag this character design here, this image. I will open this frame 9 and I will select frame 1 underscore text. Come into inspector text input and I am going to call this as character design, and I will slightly pull it. One mistake I have done here is I have dragged this character design to the wrong one. I have to drag it here. This is character design. Then I will select frame 5.1, press F2, and I am going to call this as frame 10. And for this frame 10, I will drag this and put it here, and I will open this, and inside this I am going to type rigging animation, and I am going to drag it and place it correctly. All my text are placed. I will drag up and I will also close this 4 gallery. If I just zoom out, if I press Alt and turn around, so you have your entire gallery now ready. Now go to File and save this. With the completion of this 3 art gallery scene, now let us come back to this Asset Unity Profile Content scenes, and I am now going to open my 0 main menu scene. double click to open this. Now I will come here, select the canvas and double click. And here I am now going to Alt left mouse click and turn around. We are going to open this canvas and in panel scene select, open panel scene list, and we are going to select this third one, kitchen button, press F2, and I am going to call this as 3_art gallery. Opening this, you have this text component, and here in the inspector text input, I am going to call this as, I will name this as art gallery of my works. Coming back to this 3art gallery, now in the inspector, if I scroll down to the button, I will come into the highlighted color, click on this. I will set alpha to 255, blue to 255 and green to 130 and red to 0. I select this blue color, close this, then scroll down and on click you have this canvas LoadSceneByIndex load scene and it is set to index value 3. I am going to come into file, open build profile, and now click on open scene. Coming into this asset unity profile content scenes, I will now select this 3art gallery scene, drag it and put it into the scene list. You can see now this scene has an index value of 3 and the button is also linked to the index value 3. Now I will close this, come to file and save this file. When I click on this third button, this is going to open my art gallery. But once the art gallery opens, I have to put a back button. I will select 3art gallery, double click to open it. I will come into this hierarchy, right click, and coming into UI, I am going to add a canvas. Selecting this canvas, I am going to right click, come into UI, and I am going to now add a button. And I am going to call this button as back_btn. When you add a canvas, event system will be added automatically. Now with this back button selected, I will come into the inspector and in highlight color, I will open this color, set alpha to 255, blue to 255, green to 130 and red to 0. And with this color, I will close this. Then if I scroll down, I now need to add an OnClick event to bring this back button to the main menu. I will come into assets and in unity profile content, I will come into source files and in scripts, you have this LoadSceneByIndex script. Select this script, drag it and attach it to my canvas. Then select the back button, scroll down and in the OnClick event, click plus to add a new event. Let this be set to runtime only. Here in the object, drag this canvas and attach it to this object. Then in function, come into LoadSceneByIndex, choose LoadSceneInteger and let its value be set to 0. If I select this canvas and double click it, right now the button is at center. Come here into back button, open this, select text PMP and in inspector text input, I will change it to back. I will come back to back_btn and I will set its width to 90. With Alt pressed, I am going to click on this rect transform alignment and I am going to align it to the bottom right corner. Button is on the bottom right corner. Now go to file and save this. I will come into asset, unity profile content scenes and I am going to open 01 main menu. I am going to play the game. When the game launches, you can see when I roll the mouse, you are seeing the blue color and the third link, art gallery of my work, is activated and when I click on this, this will bring you into this art gallery. By pressing A, I can turn around and see all my gallery items. I can press W and move forward. See, I can move all over here. Then I can just check all my models here. See, I can check the models, see it from different angles. And once I am happy checking my entire art gallery, I can click on the back button to come back to my main menu. We have completed our art gallery project. Now I will stop the game. With this we have completed this art gallery creation session, and in our next session we are going to make our character that we created in our starter scene to run in our own forest environment. This we are going to do it in our next session.